So here we are. It's Wednesday. I promised you guys another mini past read. Mini past life readings. Don't know. It's been that kind of day. Yeah. Yeah. It's all the hurricane energy. Yeah. How are we tonight, guys? So I already have a pretty massive list. Thank you, love. Yeah, I already have a pretty massive list. So what I'm going to do is pull my YouTube out. Ooh, it got really bright, didn't it? So I can see the comments and pull my list up so I can see my list. So I know I have some of you guys to finish from last week. So that's who I'll be starting with. Oh, thank you, Max. So I love the little corgi rat. No, I didn't redo it again. I let it do its thing. Let me look. I added a few more tickets, guys, because I saw that it was sold out before I ever even started. So I added a few more tickets. I'm waiting for it to decide to update. All right. So I added this many more tickets. Only that many more. If I get through those in a decent time, I may add some more, but I don't want to overwhelm myself. So if you guys want to grab a ticket, I would suggest you do it pretty quickly. So I'm just going to say so repeatedly. So. All right. Some comments were filtered to protect the community's experience. What is all this new weird shit going on? Somebody explain this to me. Like, I'm afraid to pick up a Dr. Pepper can now. I mean, I have, my liquid death water that I'm afraid to pick it up. What is going on with TikTok all of a sudden? What's going on? So weird. All right. So first I have Layla Neves. I will say, guys, that if you don't get on tonight, I'll do some again soon. Probably not next Wednesday, but I've been packing too much stuff in, and I have some boxes to ship out to you guys next week. Yeah. All the boxes, all the auction stuff. Finally. All the starseed sigils. So I have a couple of custom ones that I have to finish up this weekend, but the rest of them are going out. I'm so excited to get them out. So here's one of the things that sucks. I ordered, yes, I know. Thank you. My phone's like, by the way, you're supposed to be live right now. I'm like, yeah, I ordered these envelopes just for the art pieces, right? So the envelopes come in. They're supposed to be just a little bit bigger. Were they? No. So I had to order more envelopes. So I have tons of envelopes. All right, Miss Layla. Well, okay. So guys, if you didn't join me last week, mini past reads are it's a quick overview and why this is affecting you the most right now in this moment. Okay. So Miss Layla, the main thing that is affecting you right now is it's almost like being stuck in the void. Not really. It's like you keep going back and pulling out and going back and pulling out. It's like you can't pull out of it for some reason. Now, the void is something different than being lost on your path. The void is like the hallway between here and there. Does that make sense? So with this life in particular, and I would say this was probably one of your very first lives, if not the first life. You had a lot of transformation going on in that life. You had a lot of movement. You had a lot of serendipity. You had a lot of spiritual consequences, if that makes sense. But in that life, there is something that you weren't physically able to deal with as far as the void goes. Does that make sense? So I would not be surprised if you told me that you have a problem traveling in your sleep. And if you don't know if you travel in your sleep, I'll tell you guys, here's a great way to find out. And a lot of you guys may have just started doing this within the past couple of years. Okay. If you wake up and you can't remember squat, everything is just black. Now, this is different than just not remembering your dreams, because when you don't remember your dreams, you still know you were asleep. You still know you dreamed. You still can wake up with some little tidbit of something, either like a color or a feeling or a song. You wake up with something. This is just black. You wake up and it's just black. If you wake up and you are more exhausted than when you went to bed, and I don't mean just like, man, I didn't sleep good, kind of exhausted. Like you feel like your brain ran 9 marathons, then you're traveling in your sleep. If you wake up and you're sore, and this isn't just like, I slept on my arm wrong kind of sore. Your whole body is sore, like you've been in a car accident type of sore. You're traveling in your sleep. More and more people are having this happen. More and more people are having this happen. So I will tell you guys, I do sleep jars. It will help protect you when you sleep. Saturday, I'm happy to make you a custom sleep jar. So Layla, this is what's going on. You keep shifting to the void. And when you're shifting to the void, you're not coming back out of it like you're supposed to every night. So you're leaving part of yourself there. So what you need to deal with, what you need to accomplish right now is pulling yourself out of the void completely. Here's what I'm going to recommend, because this is the one thing that I've noticed helps me. Okay. Play some rain sounds while you're sleeping. I know it sounds weird and it sounds funky and it sounds like, okay, it can't be that easy. Play some rain sounds or a fan or some white noise while you sleep, because white noise keeps your brain here just enough. It keeps it tethered because your brain still hears the rain. It still hears the fan. It still hears whatever white noise you choose. It will help tether you here. Okay. So that's what I would recommend. That's what I would recommend. I see a few of you are saying that you're waking up with bruises. So at the risk of sounding Captain Jack Sparrow batshit crazy, y'all, there's a spiritual battle going on right now in places that we can't get to until we're asleep and we can travel. This is why a lot of people are waking up really, really sore, like you've been in a car accident. This is why you're waking up with bruises. I woke up Tuesday morning. I have 6 bruises up the inside of my right leg. Some of them are like this big. Y'all, I'm kind of lazy. There's nothing I did Tuesday that would have bruised me, or Monday or Sunday. I bruise easy. So, yeah, it's not just y'all. Okay. You're not alone, but try to do that. Okay. Try to do that. Play some white noise. It will help tether your brain here just a little bit, Miss Layla. Okay. And for the rest of you guys too. Okay. For the rest of you guys too. So I'm going to try to go just a little quick this evening, because y'all know me and I know me, and I will chit chat. Why are you not giving me the little thing? Scroll down. Okay. You know what? Computer, I don't have time for you. Is anybody else having issues with the computer today? So the void is kind of the hallway between the physical realm and the not. Does that make sense? It is like a tunnel through the veil to get over there. Think of it as the hallway that the bootleggers take to get the alcohol back and forth. Yeah, there's been a fuck ton of digital issues lately. It's starting to drive me up the wall. It's starting to drive me up the wall. Okay. So, Miss Deborah Westwood, you ready? Ooh. So yours, what is affecting you right now the most is that you have a problem letting things go, deep-seated things. You have a problem with forgiveness. You have a problem with, and here's the thing, I think that the most of it is you forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself. This right here was probably, I'm going to say 2 to 3 lives back. I'm going to say probably 3. I would also not be surprised to know that everything right now in your life is happening in 3s. You have a very feminine soul. You like to wrap it up in a tough shell, but you have a very feminine soul, my friend. But this one right here, it was a very tough life for you. It was a very, very tough life for you where things were taken from you, people were taken from you that your soul still feels like isn't fair. So you're still having a problem releasing and forgiving for those things. So I would bet that there are times now in this life, Deborah, that you get mad, you get angry, you get resentful, and you don't know why. You're like, well, there's really like, yeah, you pissed me off a little bit, but there's no reason I should be this level of angry. There's no reason why I should be resentful, why I should be holding this back. So, catching myself here. It's because of this right here. I can't do the yawning already, so I'm going to have to make sure I take lots of deep breaths. It's because of this life right here, this third one back. Now, as far as letting go and as far as releasing and forgiving yourself, some of it is going to be that you do have to forgive you. You do have to forgive you, okay? The other part is that you're going to have to find a way to let some of these things go. They happened so long ago that it's not like you can go back and do them. You can't go back and physically talk to this person, physically forgive them, whatever. So what I would do would be, here's where I would start. Let me say that. Here's where I would start is to go on YouTube. Find you some of the past life meditations, not hypnosis and not regression. Y'all be very careful with those, okay? Just the meditations, the ones that are long, like a frequency that'll help you connect to that life, or one that will help you connect to your Akashic records and set the intent that you want to go back and you want to release this and forgive this shit because you're trying to hang on to it. It might take you a couple of times doing this to get some progress, but this didn't just happen overnight either. So it's going to take you a little bit to let go of it. I would recommend doing that for at least 3 or 4 times before you pay somebody to help you get rid of this, to help take you through either a regression or whatever, okay? Because some of this you can literally do yourself, okay? So, knowing that this is, there it is, knowing that this is a thing, knowing that you need to forgive and knowing that you need to let go of these things, when this resentment feeling and that feeling of like this intense anger and you're like, whoa, I don't know where that came from. When those things pop up, force yourself to take a step back for a minute. Force yourself words to take a deep breath. Force yourself to kind of count to 3. You know what I mean? Count to 3 and like just pause and know that some of this is this life here. Okay? It will help you to remove whatever this past life shit is that you're hanging on to from the situation at hand. It will help you tremendously. Okay? It will help you tremendously. So hope that helps, Miss Deborah. And if you guys have questions about this, just let me know. Okay. Okay. All right. Miss Veronica Kolerick, you over here on YouTube, aren't ya? So my lady, let me see. I can tell you if my list is sold out. I would assume probably yes. It was sold out, and I only added 5 more tickets. So I will not be reading that many cards. I will be doing sigils tomorrow. I will also be, what is up with this? It's like I have one thing that keeps hitting me in the eyebrow. No. Okay. So Friday, I will be touring the Crescent Hotel. I will take you guys on a live tour of the Crescent. It will just be a very short tour. And then I will post it to YouTube after, because I won't be able to do both cameras. But I will post it to YouTube after. So I'm going up to Eureka Springs on Friday to perform a wedding. And then I am spending the day with some family and a friend and hanging out. And I'm going to get a massage and actually relax a little bit. Unheard of, right? Right? All right. Veronica, you ready? So this one right here, this one was your third life. Okay. Third. You also have kind of a masculine soul in that you tend to incarnate more as a dude than you do as a chick. So sometimes you have a problem being a girly girl because you just don't feel it. I mean, it's literally, you don't feel it. I would bet that you've kind of always had issues with wearing skirts, with wearing dresses, with being overly girly. In fact, I think that it probably upsets you to feel overly girly, even though you don't feel trans, you don't feel anything like that. You've been struggling with that a lot, especially recently. So part of that is because this middle card is the void, just like with the other reading, but not to that extent, because this also has a community card here. You have a lot of fear of losing people around you. You have a lot of fear of losing who you are in a situation. And I have the feeling that you've probably been struggling a lot with that too. Losing yourself, not losing your identity, but like losing yourself. Does that make sense? You're spending, instead of being stuck in the void, it's like you just keep, I'm trying to think of the right way to explain it. You keep going intentionally, spending too much time there. And it's keeping you, it's almost like a safety blanket, like a whoopee. Like you are going there so you don't have to face some of the fears and insecurities you have about losing people around you, about losing yourself in a situation. This life, I see why I couldn't read it for you last week. I see why. This life right here was one where it's not that you lost everything. It's that they lost you before you could lose them. Does this make sense? It's like as soon as you got all of these amazing things, everything you could have wanted in this life, you no longer were there. So now you hold on to things because you're afraid that they're going to be taken away from you again, but in a different way. I would also bet you probably have this interesting fascination with the other side, with death, with what happens, where you go, why you go there, what happens to the people here, what happens to you, do you come? I would bet that you have an interesting fascination with that. So you're using the void as a crutch to avoid these fears and insecurities. So you're going to have to, oh, thank you, love. You're going to have to face those things. So for those of you guys on TikTok, Veronica's on YouTube, and she said she's been struggling with this a lot lately, very much. And then she just said, oh my God, yes. And it's really, really kicked up to a whole other level. It's because you're using this as an excuse. You're going to have to deal with these things. To deal with this, it's something that you personally are going to have to figure out how to do. But I can give you some pointers and hopefully point you in the right direction. So one of the things that I personally deal with, guys, just because I have had a couple of near-death experiences, and one day I promise I will get videos done for them. I am a very visual person. So there's a lot of times that writing things down, and it hurts me to write things down anymore because I have carpal tunnel pretty bad. So sometimes typing them out, voice texting them, like voicing them in a note on a notepad on my phone, seeing them, and knowing that, okay, if something happens to me, are my kids going to be okay? If something happens to my kid or my oldest, then what would happen? It's almost like you have to face what would happen and process through it in a way. Does that make sense? Doing it on paper where you can physically see it will help you process through it, because it's not just a thought. It's not just you talking to somebody. It's not just you mulling over it in your head while you're driving or on the subway or whatever. It is physically seeing it come out of your brain and go onto the paper. And y'all know I'm a firebug, so I like to burn that shit. There are a whole bunch of things like that you can do. That's just one. Some of it is some shadow work as well, but it's not working through current trauma. It's working through this fear and these things in this past life. Dang it. See, now I need to write something down, and I don't really have a piece of paper, so I'm going to write it on this fucking envelope. If I can find a pen. You'll love that when something hits you and you're like, fuck, I need to make a note of that. So I have a shadow work journal that I just about have finished. What I just thought about is I've helped so many people through this, and through this fear of dying, through this fear of losing people, through this fear, all this fear, that the idea I just wrote down was a past life and death journal to help you deal with some of the shadow work there. So it's like a fear of death and loss and being intrigued by your same. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So one of the things I would recommend to Veronica, and for any of you guys that have this same fear, and this is like, not everybody has this fear. Does that make sense? Everybody has this fear, but this is like Veronica's is an obsession level fear. It won't stop. So one of the things I would recommend, if any of you guys have this fear, would be to watch. There is a series on Netflix called Surviving Death, and the very first episode is about near-death experiences. I would highly recommend watching it. It is utterly fantastic. Also, if you are a fan of Reddit, or even if you're not a fan of Reddit, there is a whole section on Reddit for near-death experiences where people have put their near-death experiences, and their mine is on there included. They will help you. I promise. They will help you. Okay. And Veronica, if you need help, if you need any other help, just shoot me a message. Okay, just shoot me a message, and I'll do what I can. But yeah. All right, Miss Christy Womack, are you ready? Okay, there we go. So learning about, Veronica said that she's been pulled to the goddess hell and learning about the afterlife, and more so learning about the Okinawa practices. Sweet. That would be great, Veronica. A lot of times when you're dealing with this fear, you guys, any of you, you're going to get pulled to learning about the afterlife in multiple cultures, not just whatever you grew up believing or not believing. That's why I usually recommend looking up near-death experiences, because there have been a lot of research done on them, and they fit into usually one of 4 categories. So it is kind of interesting. It is kind of interesting. All right, Miss Christy Womack, you ready? You really feel like you ought to be doing way better than you are. And I don't mean this monetarily, like spiritually. And everybody's like, oh, well, that's really general. No. This is like, it's so many emotions at once. It's like anger, and it's shame, and it's irritation and obsession and frustration. It's like all of this shit at once. Like I could feel it right here, like right, not where your heart is, but like up here, like just like, because this past life that's affecting you now, this was, I would say, about 5 or 6 lives ago. Well, I thought it was, there it is. It was about 5 or 6 lives ago. And in that life, you actually had a life where your whole life was about being spiritual. This is one where from the time you were little, I trying to figure out the right word, because it's not a temple. It's not like a monastery. It's just because you were born a boy, you're born a man. I don't know the word for it, but it's, I would say, in the Scottish Highlands. It's, I hate this. I can see it clearly, but I can't think of a word for it. It's similar to a monastery, but not quite. Like you were there when you were young. I have a feeling you were probably orphaned. And so you lived your whole life in this spiritual aspect. You're welcome, Miss Veronica. You lived your whole life in this spiritual aspect. And now in this life here, as you've woken up and as you've started to walk your path, you feel like you ought to be light years ahead of where you are, because this has been pulled back up. So you're able to channel, you're able to pull things in, you're able to know things and use these gifts you have, but you feel like you ought to be like here. Thank you, love. But here's the thing. Even though you have all of these gifts and talents and abilities, and even though this life here is trying to make you go forward faster than really physically you can, I know it's frustrating, but you're going to have to make yourself slow down. Does that make sense? You're going to start, and I'll bet you probably already have, doing too much spiritually. And not just like, oh, let me buy all these books and all these crystals. Not just that. Like you're obsessively spending time on it. And I think you go through phases, back and forth through phases. I'm not sure what's up with the white hood. It's not a hood. It's almost like a bonnet, but it's just something that goes on your head, and I keep seeing it. So I'm kind of curious if you've had dreams about this, because I'll describe it to you. Okay. I'll describe it to you because I would bet that you have probably had dreams about this. This is this beautiful stone. I'm going to say home, but it literally is like a monastery. It's just a very large house. There's a big stone fence around it. Everything is super green. There are two big flowing hills up behind it. There is a stable, but it's only for like two horses, two donkeys, only for like two animals. There are other things over here, but there's a massive garden. I want to say, because I'm standing looking at it this way, I want to say over here to my left is the ocean. Not right there, but like maybe half a mile away. Like you can hear it, you can smell it in the air. Everything is so damn green. And it's just utterly fantabulous. But I don't understand what the white hood is. It's cloth. It's a very thin cloth. So I'm just curious if you've had dreams about this, because it keeps putting itself in front of my face. And so it's like, okay, fine, I'll just describe it, because maybe that's why I'm going to describe it. But whatever that is, wherever that is, it's trying to rush you forward faster than you realize. Embrace that, but don't let it overwhelm you to an obsessive point, because that's what's going to happen if you let it, very easily. And it will cost you things physically, like sleep, job, etc. So, yeah. No, not a Quaker bonnet. It's just it's not a veil, because it's just back here. So yeah, someone's saying it's a druid practice. I don't know. I just know that it's back. The hood is back here, but I don't feel like it's a cape or a cloak. It's just this hood in the back. I don't know what it is. So I would research a little bit. Because it feels very small, like it's back. It starts back here and goes down. So yeah, I would research a little bit, but it's very, very beautiful. It's a very beautiful place. I would bet you've had dreams about it. Like, it wouldn't surprise me. And like I said, someone kept saying that it was a druidic practice. You might look and see if that pulls something up. Okay. All right, Miss Tammy Delgado, you ready? Woo! I almost dropped those things. So, thank you, love. So what I am wearing is a wool, I don't know what you'd call it, wrap, but it's got armholes. It's reversible. So I can wear it mostly blue, or I can wear it with all of these. So yeah, I have two of them. I got them in New Orleans last January. I went in because I saw the brown one, which was mostly like this and this, and I'm not even a red person, but it got me. And so when I got in there, she saw my hair and she was like, "Oh, I have this one." And I was like, "Well, I don't really need two." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to buy two." All right. So this is what it is. All right, Miss Tammy. Okay. Veronica, are you still here by chance? Tammy, are you here? I'm just curious, because I know, Veronica, that in some of your stuff, I noticed the last names were similar there. So yeah, the turquoise is really pretty. Well, I was hoping that you guys are here, but anyway, I'm curious just because I noticed the last name. I noticed that on some of Veronica's things, you had the same last name. So I was just curious, because she pulled a lot of the same cards She pulled a lot of the same cards that you did. So, Miss Tammy, you're here right now and have been, you're here and you've been shifted into putting all the pieces in their right places around you. So you have all of these people that have been, sorry, love, that have been put in your path for a reason. I can't do the spam, man. That have been put in your path for a reason. And it's like, as soon as they come into your path, you know exactly where they're supposed to go. It's like that game Perfection where you have to put the pieces in place before the timer's up. That's how everything feels with this. That's how everything feels with this. So you have all these people that are coming in, that some of them have bigger things broken, some of them have little things broken, but whatever it is, it's like you know exactly what to say and what to do to shift them on your path. And it's fantastic. You do have a very important purpose here right now. And I think you feel that you have this important purpose. You also have so many different paths you can take that I think you're a little overwhelmed with it at times. Because the thing is, you need to be walking all of them. So it's kind of like walk this path for a little bit, then walk this path, then walk this path, then walk this path. You just can basically shift and move and do whatever it is you need to do. The reason all this is affecting you now is because of several past lives. It's not just one, okay? It's not just one in particular. It's several. You have almost completed all of the checklists that you need to do so you can move forward. Keep catching it on my thing. So you're kind of in this free fall on your path right now because you've pretty much completed all of the things you needed to complete. The last things you need to complete are just kind of helping certain people find their path. Souls that have always been around you throughout every single life you've had. That's why these certain souls are coming in and you're able to shift them into their path. It's why you're so fantastic at saying the right thing in the right moment, being in the right place at the right moment for some people. So love, this is an amazingly fantastic gift to have. It's not anything bad at all in any way, shape, or form. It's awesome. And I think that this is fantastic. I think it's been overwhelming. And I think that there's been times you're like, why the hell do I have all these weird broken people coming into my path? But Miss Tammy, this is fantastic. This is utterly fantastic for you. So see, now I'm getting hot. It's basically every single thing that you need to accomplish on your list, you've done. And now it's just making sure that the souls that are around you in every life are put where they're supposed to be put. Does that make sense? So you don't really need to do anything to move forward on this. It's just going to keep happening for you. Let me see if it flags me for drinking this. Let me not say Miss, Nairi Payne. Woo, okay, shit. I just love you too. See, now I'm probably have to go turn the fan on. I was freezing a while ago, and now I'm like, man, now I'm sweating. In fact, let me go do that before I start Nairi's. Otherwise, I'm going to be over here bitching about it being hot. Do y'all want to know the best thing about having a house with solid wood floors, with hardwood floors? You can make fart noises with your feet by just moving slightly. It makes my inner 6-year-old deliriously happy. I just wanted to share that with y'all. You're welcome. You know you like doing it too. And sliding around in your socks. Okay. Nairi, you ready? There it was. Thank you. Hey, Miss Daphne. So let me pause for just a minute. Miss Daphne, did you guys raise the money that you needed to raise for that family? Good. I'm glad. Do you need anything else? Do they need anything else? Do you want to put in the comments there? So I popped into Daphne's live last night because I couldn't sleep and I was nerding around on TikTok. And so Miss Daphne was raising money last night for a family that had lost everything. So I'm sure if any of you guys would like to help, Daphne can tell you what they need or how you can help. So yeah, I just figured I would ask Miss Daphne. I thought it was very sweet that you were doing that last night. So, Nairi, what's affecting you the most right now from a past life is allowing yourself to be loved. You have so many people in this life now that love you, that care about you, that support you, that are there for you. You've had people come in and out of your life that are super supportive. Thank you, Miss Daphne Pooh. That are super supportive. But for some reason, you have this problem accepting love, accepting compliments, accepting help, accepting any of that. And it's not just like a stubborn thing. It's like legitimately inside, you feel like you don't deserve it. You feel like you don't deserve it, but you really do. You really, really do. Like your soul really does. The life that's affecting you, the reason you feel like you don't deserve it is because this is a life, I would say, just from the imagery, I would say probably in the mid 1300s, mid 1340s, like literally 1340s. And you had to give those things up to survive. So in having to give them up, you feel like you don't deserve them. And I think that this has affected you really deeply in this life. And I think that it's come back repeatedly to the point that you push everyone away. And then when this kind of eases up a little bit, you let people back in, and then you push them all away, and then you let them back in. It's this really bad push and pull with this. You always expect the worst. It's like, well, if I push them away, then they can't leave me, then they can't hurt me. But the thing is, you've got to speak your own truth in this life. You've got to stop holding back these feelings and these things, because if you just tell people you have a new relationship come in and you really, really are into this person, tell this person like, hey, I have this fear of losing. I have this fear of abandonment. I have this fear that I'm going to have to leave you, whatever it is. Just talk to them. Everybody has this fear. I know yours is extreme because it's something you're dealing with from a past life, but if you don't embrace this and you don't deal with it, you're going to have to deal with it in the next life. Like this is something major that you have to deal with in this life. That's why it keeps coming back and back and back and back. So you're going to have to deal with it. Speak your own truth, Nairi, and know that you've got to accept people loving you. Okay. I know that sounds weird, but I saw your message, Miss Daphne. I will try to remember. If not, it'll be tomorrow. Okay. Been a long day. But yeah, I got you, love. All right, Nina St. Jean, you ready? Oh, you're fine, Daphne Pooh. You're fine. I love you too, sugar. I need to message you anyway about something else. Something unicorn horn related that I need to add with you said unicorn horn. That was, yeah. I hope that made sense. I hope that made sense. All right, Miss Nina. You've gone through a lot of destruction in this life, haven't you? A lot of purification, a lot of burning things to the ground. Okay. So, in this life, Miss Nina, the one you're in right now, you get overwhelmed super easy. You also, it's like things will be going great, and then suddenly it's not just that the rug is ripped out from under you. It's like the rug burns and you're like just stuck there for a minute and then you fall. So things are either amazing or there's not even a word for how bad they suddenly just spiral down really quickly. So the reason this is happening and the reason this is affecting you so deeply, the reason that you can't seem to move forward in a straight line, the reason that it's like this all the time, you don't have just this straight path, is because we don't have a straight path. But I'm going to say that this one's a pretty old life. You've been carrying this around for a while. I would say that this is probably in the 400s AD. You've been carrying around this destruction because let me just say it this way, and it's the only word I can think of. So let me say it this way. It's almost like atonement. Does that make sense? You had so much destruction that you laid forth in this life only because you were part of an army. It wasn't something you did personally, but it was something you were forced to do, if that makes sense. You were forced to do it. And it affected your soul deep enough that it's affecting you now. Does that make sense? So when things start to destruct, you've got to step forward and put a stop to it. Like you literally can put a stop to it. I don't think you realized you can do that yet. You just have to shift the path you're on. When you embrace that path that goes like this, instead of trying to force it to be this straight line, it will help purify all of this other stuff. When you realize that you're the one that controls your path, not any outside anything else, it will help you navigate this. Just enjoy this. Enjoy the scenic route. By trying to force your life onto a straight path, that's what's causing a lot of this destruction and this purification. You've gone through enough purification in this lifetime to deal with all of that. So the next time that you start to feel this, take your hands off the wheel. Literally take your hands off the wheel. Just, and this is going to sound stupid, but literally just tell the universe, hey, you know what? Whatever you feel you need to do, do it. Whatever you feel you need to do. Because if something's being removed from your life, it's for a reason. Don't try to shove yourself onto a path. Just let it happen. Okay? Just let it happen. It's purifying a lot of things out of your life for a reason. For a reason. Really important reason. I wish I could stress that even more. Yeah, I wish I could stress that even more. Some of the people coming in your life that it's purifying out are people you have soul contracts with. And that's why things go up in flames. That's why it's not just somebody, doesn't just fade away. It's like an explosion. It's because you have soul contracts with them, and they have to leave that way, if that makes sense. So, too many messages and stuff going on. I'm like reading everything everywhere, trying to read everything everywhere. You've got a lot of purification going on. So just kind of let it happen. Just kind of tell the universe, you know what? I know you're going to bring me everything I need. I know that what's happening right now is a lesson. I know that the people being removed from my life, it's a lesson for them and me. It's cutting a tie. It's fixing things that have to be fixed for me to move forward. Once you realize that, all of this becomes so much easier. So much easier. So much easier. I have not been watching the news this evening about the hurricane. I know that it was slamming y'all pretty hard down there. So, Keisha, I saw that you said something over here. Sass messaged me about yours earlier. Yours was a personal one, so I will have to get yours done for you. These are just mini ones. So I haven't forgot about you, love. You're welcome very much. So soul contracts are a big thing. I have a feeling that this life has been a lot harder than you've expected it to be. And you've had a lot of things that have shifted and happened. And it's because you are one of those souls that made a contract to come here now to get a whole bunch of shit out of the way. So you're taking a whole bunch of shit right now. You're getting 3 or 4 lifetimes in one of shit. So that's a lot of why this is happening. There's a lot of people like that right now. I literally just turned my card deck the wrong way. There's a lot of people that right now they're like, what the fuck? Everything used to be great. And now it's like, it's because the rest of your soul stepped in and it's time to do the things that you agreed to do. Good and bad. So yeah. I would like it if you would do that. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Jesse, ready? Okay. So, Jesse, this one right here is your life right before this one. And you took a pretty decent sized break between that one and this one. one of the things that's affecting you the most right now is you pulling into yourself, withdrawing from everybody, from everything. It's like you don't just hermit, you turtle and hermit and hedgehog and mole, like you all the things. You wrap yourself in concrete and just like shut everything out. And then when you come back out of this withdrawing, you pick the biggest mountain you can pick to climb. And you climb it. And as soon as you get to the top, oh, I'm so glad, Daphne. I'm so glad. You guys, that makes me so, so happy. I was listening to Daphne talk about this family that they literally lost everything and they were raising money last night. So to know that you guys are sending a little bit to help them, that makes me very happy. So I really and truly appreciate that, guys. I really and truly appreciate that. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. So, Jesse, this is going to be an ebb and flow, a push and pull throughout your life like this. It has to happen because, and I know that you probably wonder why the hell this happens, because when you come out of this shell and you pick the mountain to climb, you literally pick one of the biggest mountains you can find to climb. And then you go at it head first and up you go. You make it. Like you always are taking these risks and they're fantastic. And then back in the withdrawal phase you go. It has to happen this way. It's just something that you have to deal with in this life. I can't really see a lot of what you dealt with to make this happen. But I almost feel like it was such a traumatic thing because there's a big span between that life and this one. Usually it's a span of about 50 to 100 years. Yours is more like 200 to 300 years. Yours is like 200 to 300 years. You took a long pause. So this life here affected you really, really deeply, really deeply. So now you're trying to go back and forth. So yeah. Just let it happen. Climb those fucking mountains. And withdraw when you need to withdraw. Okay? Withdraw when you need to withdraw. And you can tell everybody your spiritual advisor said it's okay for that to happen. It's okay for that to happen. All right. I have to get my ass in gear a little bit or we're going to be here all night long. All right, Miss Bianca, you ready? You're welcome, love. What is yummy, yummy, nom, nom? TikTok. Okay, TikTok. Thank you, love. All right. Okay, Miss Bianca. You ready? So, yours is kind of unique in that what's affecting you the most right now is not a bad thing. Not only is it not a bad thing, it's such a good thing that it's making you feel like it's a bad thing. It's making you feel crazy. You have a life, I would say probably about your fourth one back. I would put it probably in the 1500s, early 1500s. Thank you, Miss Daphne Pooh. And you in that life, that was kind of one of your vacation lives where you had everything handed to you and it was a wonderfully fulfilling life. You were very connected in all the ways, like it just was a vacation life. Thank you, Miss Marvela. You're feeling that now, but in a way, you knew that was coming. In a way, all your gifts that are popping up, all the things that you suddenly know, all the things that are happening around you, those times when you're just by yourself and suddenly you randomly start giggling, like you just know all these things and you start giggling and then you're like, oh my God, I am legit batshit crazy. Cool. I'm batshit crazy. You're not batshit crazy. Your gifts are on point. You just need to trust yourself more. You need to trust yourself more. For some reason, you don't trust yourself. And I think that it's from this current life. It's trauma in this current life because this past life that we're talking about here, everyone listened to you. Everyone, when you had these things happen and you were like, hey, this is going to happen and this is going to happen and blah, 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 blah. You didn't have this fear of being wrong. You didn't have this fear of being crazy or whatever, but you do in this life. You do in this life. So, love the things that you want to do, the path that you want to take, the spiritual things that you would like to have happen, that you would like to make happen. They will all happen. They're supposed to happen. You cannot dream too big, is what I'm saying. You just have to trust yourself. You just have to trust your gut. You have to trust the things that you're seeing and doing and so on. You have to. Because it's there for a reason. You're not crazy. I promise you are not crazy. Not only you're not crazy, but making me yawn twice in one reading. You're not crazy. You just have all of these gifts that are rushing back to you. You have all of the people that are supposed to be in your life starting to head your way. You're also one of those people that their soul, the rest of your soul kind of stepped in the last, I would say, almost 4 years now. Just embrace it. Just embrace it. Just embrace it. Write these things down. Record them, voice record them, whatever. That's one of the easiest ways to do when these things come up is to voice record them. That way you don't miss anything at all because you will not remember it later. I promise. Learn from my mistakes. You will not remember it later. But embrace this, sweetheart, because this is absolutely happening for a reason. Okay? Okay? Voice recording is a lightsaber. Lightsaber? Lightsaber? Lifesaver. Words. Words. All right, Miss Lori Ann Brown. Are you here this evening, sweet pea? So it did, Miss Alexis. I finished reading yours earlier, and the girls should have it to you. I will say that yours did utterly fantastic. There was nothing left. Nothing left. Okay. Miss Lori throwing cards at me. Make sure I put it exactly the way it fell. They'll email it to you, gal. They'll email it to you. I just got it to him this afternoon. Come on. I would like for you to work. I have a feeling this deck is tired. I've had it for a long time. It probably needs to be cleansed a lot. Probably needs a vacation. So you're welcome, Miss Alexis. So, Miss Lori Ann. So I don't know if Lorianne's here or if this was from last week. I have a feeling maybe it was from last week. But Miss Lorianne, I'm curious. I want to know what's up with the buffalo. I want to know what's up with the buffaloes that you've been seeing lately. This is one of your oldest lives. This is one of your oldest lives. Everything in here is, now when I say it this way, it's going to sound weird until I explain it. Everything in here is darker, but deeper. The place where you live here is darker green. The skin is darker brown. The food is deeper red meat. It's just the ocean is deeper. Everything is darker. Everything is deeper. And by deeper, I mean amazingly deeper. But the buffalo is popping up for you for a reason lately, to try and guide you, pull you out of this norm that you've been in, pull you out of the norm. I mean, really, for lack of a better term, the norm. The norm. You've also been really curious about a lot of things going on lately, not just with you spiritually, but in other parts of the world, with other cultures, etc. You've been really, really falling down the rabbit hole lately. That's all part of this. It's like you're trying to get back to that darkness, that richness. I would not be surprised to know that you have been really researching South American cultures, that you have been researching some of your ties back to Poland, that you've been researching there it is, that you've been researching cave paintings. I would not be surprised to know any of that. I wouldn't be surprised to know any of that. Those things are coming back up for a reason right now, Miss Lorianne. They're absolutely coming back up for a reason. So I'm just going to say, follow your curiosity. Follow your curiosity. It's not going to steer you wrong. It's not going to steer you wrong. So yeah, if you guys have never watched any of my lives, especially when I'm channeling, when I'm doing past lives, when I'm doing mediumship, I tend to really, really get yawny. I tend to get yawny. Yeah. So there we go. I tend to get yawny. Really? There we go. I'm just trying to fix something. All right. Jonathan Gillespie. I have Jonathan, Tara, Kaya, Denise, Barbara. I have several after that, so don't worry if you didn't hear your name. Those are just my next few. And I'm probably going to put food in my face while I'm doing this. You're curious about someone and it makes you nervous. Why does it make you nervous? All right. Hey, Jonathan, how are you, love? So I'm glad you're here, Jonathan. I'm glad you're here. I have a question. Do twins run in your family? Like, should you have been a twin? Are you a twin? Were you a twin? I have a reason for asking. I mean, obviously, I'm not just like, hey, were you a twin? So here's the thing. There's 2 anchor cards here. That is indicative of twin energy. So that's why I asked if you had ties in your family. Usually when there is twin anchor cards, there's obviously a male and a female here. See what I mean? Obviously a male, female here. So if you don't have somebody like that in your life now, I would say that you have this hole in your life that you feel like somebody is missing and you don't know who it is or why. Like you can't explain why you have this really hole is the best way to describe it. It's the best way to describe it. It's like looking for a soulmate that will never exist. And you know they will never exist. But it's not like, it's not that you feel like you need someone to love. It's just like you feel like you are missing someone and you can't explain why. So what's interesting is this seems to be a cycle for the pair of you. Somehow the two of you, your sync has gotten off. There's two aspects here to this, okay? The first aspect here is that without this person here, you're going to have to repeat a life to find this soul. I have a feeling y'all do this dance to where some lives you're together and then one of you gets off a little bit and you have to spiral until you clack each other again. For some reason, you have a lot of purification going on this time as well. You have a lot of warrior aspects going on this time as well. So things that you've had to endure that are kind of, they really feel unfair. It's to purify specific aspects of your life. So in enduring these really hard ass things, it's purified your way of thinking. It's purified your way of looking at some of this stuff. And I'm just going to let you know it's not over yet. It's affecting you right now because you have that warrior aspect. Like I would bet if you had the chance, you could use some of that drive that's deep in there to bust through a wall, to take a broadsword and just bust down a steel door. Like I have no doubt in my mind that you can do that. I have no doubt in my mind that with what's in here right now, with this warrior aspect, you could easily do that. And it's like that for a reason. You need to channel that energy into something really positive because when these purifications happen, you're going to need that to fall back on. Does that make sense? I'm like, son of a bitch. This is the only way I can explain it. It's like channeling all of that warrior energy into something meaningful, something purposeful right now is going to help you when the next purification round comes and you have to fall back on the mattress. You're basically making the mattress so you can fall back on it so you don't just shatter. There we go. Does that make better sense? That better descriptors? Because you don't have this soul here to fall back on this time. You don't have this soul here to help you through things. So you have to use this warrior energy. It's almost like this soul is like giving you this warrior energy before the next purification comes along, before the next round of bullshit comes along. So this energy right now is amazingly creative. So you can use it to make that mattress. There's the yarn. You're welcome. There's the yawn. Those y'all counting. So use it to your advantage. Like absolutely use it to your advantage right now. Okay. It's there for a reason. And you can build so much shit with it. I'm serious. Like if you channeled this shit, Jonathan, you could manifest pretty much anything you wanted right now. So I would grab hold of this quarter moon coming up. Just saying. Just saying what I'm saying. See, it gets fun to count the bodhions. how to begin manifesting. So first of all, okay, Tara, I would start listening to the Solfeggio Frequencies. What the Solfeggio Frequencies do, guys, and don't do it every night. Maybe like 1 or 2 nights a week or during the day. You can find playlists on YouTube, on Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. You can find playlists that have the Solfeggio Frequencies in them. They're just like 3 to 4 minute songs. There are 9 of them. They help to rebalance the chakras, to clear them, to realign them. They also help to, each one is for something different. So some liberate you from fear and guilt. Some help you they help you optimize your health. Some help you connect to spirits. Some help you open your third eye, things like that. I would do that. With manifesting, there are so many different techniques you guys can use. I don't recommend looking it up on TikTok. I recommend YouTube for that, looking up different manifestation techniques or looking up looking up articles. If you're a visual person and you're like, I need to see it written down, look up articles. I personally write things down. And then I write them on my mirror in my bathroom, or I write them on sticky notes in my office. I need to see it. I need to have it right here all the time. I make little, I don't know what they're called, but when you take the first initial of words and you make a little name, I do that. And I just kind of say it over and over. There we go. I was waiting. Why are you being so slow tonight? I'm going to shift back and forth repeatedly. So yeah. That will help. That will help you get on your way. An acronym. Thank you. I was like, I can't do the words thing. Thank you. Somebody asked how many Dr. Peppers I drink in a day. Usually, let's say an average of 1. Some days I go for a couple days without 1, and some days I drink 4. But yeah. I've kind of been on a liquid death kick lately, so I haven't really been drinking very many of them. So I've got some pretty gnarly headaches. And plus, with the weather cooling down, I have this amazing sinus headache right here. It only goes to about here and then down the side of my nose, and it's dumb. For the record, it's dumb. Sinus headaches are dumb. All right, Tara, you ready? Ooh, okay. What's affecting you most right now, love, is that you know you have to step into a leadership role and you don't like to people, so you don't want to do it. So you keep withdrawing and putting yourself in this little turtle shell, and then the universe keeps pulling you out to be in this leadership position again. And you fight it again. You just yeah. The universe is going to keep putting you in this position until you finally step into this leadership role, Tara. The reason this is affecting you so much right now is because this is a leadership role you've been in the past. It's comfortable to you. Once you step into it, it's going to be comfortable. Right now, you're fighting it hardcore because the life you're in now has taught you to fight it hardcore. You don't want a leadership position. And I really understand that. I really understand that. But I would say that the life that this is from is probably, I'm going to say about your 6th one back from this. So we're going to say late 1200s. You were in a leadership position then, and you're being pushed into a very similar leadership position now. You have to embrace it and just step into that leadership position. Because if you don't, if you keep withdrawing and pulling away from it, the universe is going to shove you harder and harder and harder until you can't withdraw. And you're going to need this ability to withdraw and take steps back as you head into this leadership position. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. Trust me, I understand. Don't do what Bodhi does. Don't do what Bodhi does. Yeah. So, yeah. Tara, I'm also curious. I'm curious if you're fascinated with the wind. If you're fascinated with how the wind sounds, can you hear things in the wind? When I ask you guys weird questions like this, it is for a reason. I'm serious. It's for a reason. Because you are literally in that life and this one now, what I would call a wind talker, where you can divine information by listening to the wind. Even if it's just barely this little bitty tiny bit through the trees outside, you can divine stuff, and yeah, you can hear it in the wind. So I hope that that makes sense, Tara. I've been watching on YouTube for your comments, but I haven't seen you pop another one back up. So hopefully it'll pop back up here in just a minute. All right, Kaya, you ready? Am I saying that right, Kaya? Because I assume since it's K-A-I-A and like G-A-I-A is Gaia, so I assume it's Kaya, yes? So I have Kaya, Denise, Barbara, Alicia, Brittany Noir, Heather, Megan. I've got more after that, so if you didn't hear your name, know that I haven't got to my thing yet. Hey, guys, don't put your date of births in here. Oh, I did say it right. How do people pronounce it? How would you pronounce it anything different? How would you pronounce anything different? So, they call you Cara? Really? I'm sorry. That's weird. So, Kia. They say Kia. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Ugh, I'm so sorry. So, Tara, here's what I would say. Next time you're outside, pay attention. Next time you can go outside and just sit there for a minute, pay attention to what you hear in the wind. Just pay attention. Just close your eyes for a minute. Let the wind go past your ears and just listen. Listen to what comes out. I'd be curious to see what you learn from it. I'm serious. I'd be curious to see what you learn from it. So, all righty, ready, Miss Kaya. Hey, Kiwi, how are you? Oh, you're fascinated with mermaids, aren't you, girl? Aren't you, love? Sorry, I didn't mean to assume. So, you're fascinated with mermaids. You're fascinated with the water. Okay. So, here's the thing, Miss Kaya. The life that's affecting you right now is also affecting you in a good way. It's affecting you in a good way in that you have this thirst for, and I'm going to say it this way on purpose, crazy knowledge. You have this thirst for crazy knowledge that you can't get enough of it. And what's funny is when you're learning these things, they're so weird and so out of the norm that people are like, why the hell are you taking that class? Why are you learning this? Like, why do you want to do that? How do you know that? I would bet that you know a massive amount of really useless shit. It's not useless to you, but everybody else thinks it's useless shit. But there's a reason that you have this need to learn all of these crazy things. Your soul has always been a seeker, Sweet Pea. In every single life, it's a seeker. It happens to be a seeker of knowledge in this life. You're a seeker of knowledge more often than not. In fact, I would bet that you full on call yourself a nerd all the time. I would bet that there's even times when you're reading something or learning something that you go, oh my God, I am such a fucking nerd. I identify with this so much. Your soul is just a seeker, babe. You're going to continue to seek out every tiny morsel of wisdom in all of these weird things and random things that you can. Your brain is going to just suck it up. Your soul is just sucking it up because it's literally a cycle. It's literally a cycle. You are that soul that has to learn everything about everything. You call yourself a nerd at least 15 times a day. It is what it is, babe. Just own it. Own it. That you are literally, your soul is a seeker. Your soul is a seeker of wisdom and knowledge. There is nothing wrong with that. I would bet that you're also a very, very logical person, that you have all of these favorite TV shows and such, and you pick them apart. Like that really wouldn't happen because blah, 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 blah. And you know just enough random things to actually pick the thing apart realistically. It just is what it is. I would also bet you have a very high IQ. I would bet you're very intelligent. And I would also bet that you're very detail oriented and very analytical, and you notice everything there is to notice about every single person, all the situation. Like you notice everything. You notice everything all the time with the shows and video games. Yeah. Yeah. Baby, your soul is just a seeker, and your soul is really, really old. Your soul is really, really old. So one of the things about past lives, guys, because the next thing that's fixed to come out of my mouth is batshit crazy, but I need to explain it to you guys first before out it comes. Time is not linear. Linear time is a human construct, so our meat sack brains can have some measurement. It is not time in actual time. Does that make sense? So one of my favorite representations of it is with The Good Place, when he's describing, or Ted Danson's character is describing Jeremy Bearimy. So what I would recommend, if you guys do not know The Good Place with Jeremy Bearimy, it's on YouTube. Watch it. That's how time is. That's literally how time is. Time folds back on itself. Time goes around itself. Time crosses itself. So you can have past lives that happened way in the future that haven't actually happened yet. Does that make sense? It's a past life. You've already lived it way in the future, but it hasn't happened yet. That's kind of what's up with your soul, Kai. You have a very old soul, and you've lived some interesting lives already, and you already know the things. This is making a lot of things make sense, especially getting annoyed when I don't know something, how to do it. And you feel like you should know. You feel like you should know. Because you did know. That's why. That's why. So, yeah, that's why they say history repeats itself. You kind of already do know how to do the things. Just your meat sack now doesn't. So that's why. You're always going to be a seeker of wisdom, sweetheart. You're always going to be a seeker of wisdom. You're always going to be smarter than most of the people around you. You're always going to know how to do more things than people around you. You're always going to get frustrated with people. You're always going to get frustrated with people who refuse to learn, who refuse to see all sides of the situation. People are going to frustrate you for the rest of your life, Kaya. It just is. It is what it is. You're going to have to find someone very, very special. You're going to have to find very special friends that are this same type of soul you are, that are seekers like you are. Everybody else is going to drive you crazy. Everybody else is going to drive you crazy. So I'm glad that explains some stuff for you, love. If you haven't watched The Good Place, Kaya, go watch at least the Jeremy Bearimy episode on YouTube. You won't be sorry. You won't be sorry, I promise. All right, Denise. Let's see. Tavares. Yeah. The show itself is fantastic. And it's kind of, it's like the ultimate mind fuck in a way, and it's great, and I love it, and it's done in such a comical way. But if you guys don't do anything else, okay, if you don't watch anything else on it, just go on YouTube, watch look up Good Place, Jeremy Bearimy. The word, like the name Jeremy, and then Bearimy, Jeremy Bearimy. So you will not be sorry. I promise. You won't be sorry. And it will help you. It will help you. Okay? It will. Trust me. Trust me. All right. Miss Denise. Ready? I think I am only about halfway through. Let me see. Yep. Right at halfway. All right, Denise. So, okay. So, Denise, this is going to sound weird when I say this, okay? But you weren't supposed to be here, were you? You aren't supposed to be here, are you? I don't know if it was your mom had a really bad time with you or what, but you weren't supposed to be here. So, you're kind of in a paradoxical situation right now. And I have a feeling you keep running up against paradoxical situations. Something happened that pulled you here this time. You should have been a spirit guide this time. You're a miracle baby. You should have been a spirit guide this time, not a person. So you're kind of a paradox. So you keep running up against all of these weird, interesting, paradoxical things in your life. Because you really, a number of miscarriages beforehand. So before this life here, before you were born, I would say your soul, the person you were before this, you probably hadn't been gone more than a couple years. You probably hadn't been gone more than a couple years. Something happened that pulled you here. Yeah, something happened that pulled you here. Slothy, I'm watching your messages, honey. What's up? What can I do to help you, sweet pea? I don't ever want anybody here to feel like they don't have somebody. I don't ever want any of you guys to feel like you don't have anybody. Okay. There's a lot of us here that are, and I saw somebody else say too that you don't have anybody. You have us. You have me. You have us. Okay. You have us. Don't ever feel like you're alone, sweetheart. Okay. I don't ever want you guys to feel like you're alone. Never, ever. Okay. So anytime you see me on, anytime you see one of my videos, and guys, they've done the algorithm again. So make sure that you're following me, because you're not going to see my content unless you're following me. It's really crazy. But, yeah, sweetheart, just know that anytime you guys see me on, and I'm literally on almost every night during the week. I am going to take Monday and next Wednesday off. I'm just letting you know, but I'm on all the time. I don't ever want you guys to feel like you don't have anybody. I don't ever want you guys to feel like you don't have anybody. Okay. Never, ever. Because you always have me. Even if it's just through a screen, you always have me. My mods are always here. There's always a core group of people that's always here. You always have us, okay? Please don't ever feel like you have nobody, okay? Please don't ever feel like you have nobody. So, Let me get back to Miss Denise. Sorry there, Miss Denise. Sorry there. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. You guys are so welcome to stay and hang out here. Any single thing you're going through right now in this moment will pass. Everything will pass. It may seem like right now in this moment, it is the worst thing ever. But I promise it will pass. There's a reason that things happen. And I know everybody hates to hear that, but there is. But there is. A couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, I went through something extremely tough right about this time of year. And I'm not going to fib to any of you guys. And I don't mind talking about it because I want other people to understand that I've been where they've been. Everybody's been there. I went through a situation so horrible that I considered, you know what I'm fixing to say. And in the moment, I realized all the ripples that I would cause to stop for my kids. And so I just threw myself into work instead. But I also, in that moment, when I shifted my perspective a little bit, realized all of these things that are happening, all of the things that were going on in my life at that moment, they had to happen that way. I had to learn to let go. I had to learn to lose everything. Because it wasn't until I lost everything that I learned how to appreciate everything more. That I learned what really mattered. That I learned how to build the things that mattered to me. And it took me a while to work through some of this with myself, okay, I can't have this. I don't have this. You know what I mean? Things like that. Because I had to learn how to be okay with me. I had to have freedom. And it wasn't because I chose the freedom. It was because the universe knew I needed it. It fucking sucked at the time. But now, if you guys had known me in 2018 or 2019 even, you would not recognize me. You would not recognize me. I still did this for a living. But I was also working another job and sometimes 2 other jobs. I bogged myself down with doing everything for everyone else so much that I had no idea who I was. I had no idea how it was to live alone. I was excited and also terrified at the idea of it. Like I legit would have panic attacks when I had the house to myself. I had to learn to be free. So the universe had to take everything from me. I literally had to lose everything. I walked away from a 15-year marriage. I walked away from a massive house and a bunch of cars and decent financial security. I walked away from family. I walked away from all of these things. My oldest was in college, so I didn't see him that much. My youngest and my ex had my youngest kind of brainwashed a little bit to where I didn't see my youngest for a long time. And that was one of the hardest things because I was the homeroom mom. I was the PTA president. I was involved in everything. And I had to learn to lose all of those things because I had lost who I was. Thank you, love. I had lost who I was. I had to find me again. And now, even looking back at myself, I'm like, how did I let that happen? How did I let that happen? So I understand exactly where you guys are. In the moment, it feels so shit. It feels so shit. So I don't ever want you guys to feel like no one understands. I don't ever want you guys to feel like you're alone. I don't ever want you guys to feel like you don't have anybody that cares about you. Okay? I do. I care about you. I care about every single one of you. Even if you just came into my life 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, 5 seconds ago. That's my purpose in life. I'm here. I'm here. I don't ever want anyone to feel like they don't have anybody to talk to, because I know how it feels to be at the very lowest point of your life and not have anyone you can trust, not have anyone you can turn to that you can talk to, and you have to go through this shit on your own. I understand. I don't ever want anybody to feel that way. Okay? Ever. So, you're welcome, Xander. You're welcome, guys. So, there's Bodhi's soapbox, and Miss Denise has been so sweet and patient to wait while I pause her reading for that. But I do try to watch the comments as much as possible. And so when I see some of that, see, a lot of people say, a lot of us have been there before too. So when I see comments like that, guys, I wanted to acknowledge that. I do see you. I do see you. And I am here for you. Okay? Okay? I don't want you to ever think that I'm not. Just because I get busy and I don't even know where I'm at half the time, I'm still here for you guys. Okay? I'm still here for you guys. Okay? Love all of you. Love all of you. And if nothing else, then we'll just send Penny after somebody. I'm just saying, Penny will be on them like a spider monkey. So there's that. You always have Spider Monkey Penny at your disposal. I'll loan her to you. Okay. I had to. That's my trauma response, is to end things on a humor note. All right. Man, that was a good snap. Did y'all see that? I was in unison. All right. Miss Denise, thank you. Thank you. So I'm so sorry, love. I'm so glad to see. I love this because I love seeing that some people are like, I really needed to hear this, and other people saying, I'm absolutely here for you. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. I'm sorry that some of you guys are going through some very hard things, but I love also seeing that so many of you guys are like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. So yeah. So, okay, Miss Denise. So back to Miss Denise here. Miss Denise, we already said you weren't supposed to be here. You have a lot of paradoxes that are popping up around you. You guys know when you can like see a hair, like I can see it, I can feel it. I can't deny that it's mine because it's blue. I see it right here. I'll get it in a minute. I'll get it in a minute. You have so much paradoxical things happening around you, Miss Denise. Here's the thing. What's funny is I think when all of these things happen and people point out, like, how is that happening? How is that a thing when this is a thing? And you're just like, I don't know, just what the fucking is. People don't understand, but for some reason you do. For some reason you do. And when it happens, you're just like, okay. But later you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. Don't overthink it. These paradoxes have to happen because you yourself are a paradox. It's kind of like you're the only one strong enough that can hold the paradoxes. Does that make sense? With all of these paradoxical things happening, thank you, Sweet Pea. With all of these paradoxical things happening, it also brings things to you that you can fix, you can shift, you can turn the right way and send back out into the universe. every time one of these paradoxes pop up, it provides something to you that is so fulfilling and you can't explain why. Oh, thank you, Marie. So just embrace this. I knew that was coming. Just embrace this because it's going to be a thing for the rest of your life, sugar. It's going to be a thing the rest of your life. There's not really a reason or a way to stop it or fix it. You're here because you're a paradox, and you're a paradox because you're here. Everything that comes your way is going to be extremely fulfilling if you learn the right way to look at it. Does that make sense, Miss Denise? Everything is going to be fulfilling in one way or another. So what's even better about this is when you realize and when you shift some of the words that you use about yourself, that you use about these paradoxes, that you use about the outcomes of these paradoxes. If you'll shift the words you use, your personal power will be unstoppable. It will be unstoppable. So you're kind of here to finish what you couldn't finish in your life before. It's just really interesting that you got pulled so quickly, which tells me that whoever it was you were supposed to be a spirit guide for got pulled really quickly too. So when we get pulled to be a spirit guide or whatever, sometimes it happens in a weird way and it's a domino effect. So that's a whole story for a whole other time. But yeah. I'm glad you're here, Miss Denise. I'm glad you're here. Sometimes paradoxes are on purpose. And sometimes they're here to balance out others that are paradoxes. And I have a feeling that that's your purpose, because I have a feeling that you find a lot of paradoxes around you. So yeah. All righty. Miss Barbara Sobel. I got to get through my list because it's 10:15 and I don't want to have to start over tomorrow. Ooh, okay. I just wanted to make sure I acknowledged that, guys. So, yeah. Hey, Helen Sita, how are you? Woo, woo. Dropping Barbara. All right. Oh, girl. You picked a great lesson to learn this time around, Barbara. Or, well, maybe not to learn this time around, but you picked an interesting lesson right now. What's affecting you the most is patience. And what's funny is I don't think it's just learning patience. It's also giving patience, teaching others how to have patience, how to have patience. This life here is I would say, I was going to say older life, but I really think it's maybe only about 600 years or so ago, 650. You're one of those people that's actually amazing at forgiveness. You're amazing at it. But you have to see why you need to forgive the person. You have to see why. You have to understand why. Once you have that illumination and once you wrap your head around, okay, this is why I can let this go. This is why I don't need to hold on to this. This is why this. This is why this. you can let this stuff go. Like you are literally one of those people that when you're done, you're done. You don't think about it again. It's done. So that has its good and its bad, because when you get to the point that you're done, like you're done. And I would bet people even ask you, like, how does that not bother you? And you're just like, I don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. That is you teaching other people patience. Because the people that you let go, the ones that you're done, they have to learn the patience because they're not letting it go. And so I think there are even times still where you're like, years later, you hear this or this, and you're like, I haven't thought of that in years. So I don't know why they're still thinking about it, because they have to learn patience. You are their lesson in patience. They're just not learning the lesson. But the cool thing is, it's not your lesson to learn. So you don't have to worry about it. You've already done your part. You've already done your part. So I will say that the life I'm talking about here, the one is about 650 years ago. It was a very, very peaceful life. It was a very peaceful life. So when things get really hectic in this life, it tends to overwhelm you, because this life is popping up really hardcore for you right now. And you just don't really have the time or the space in your energy or in the bullshit for any of that. And I understand. I totally understand. Don't stop doing those things. Don't stop setting those boundaries. Don't stop cutting people off when they need it. And when the hectic stuff pops up and your soul needs that peace and that quiet and that space, don't hesitate to tell people to fuck off. Seriously. Don't hesitate to tell people to fuck off. Tell them your spiritual advisor said so. Because your soul needs that peace. Your soul needs that peace. But I think it's fantastic that the majority of why you're here, what's affecting you right now, is to be other people's patients. I think that's funny. I think that's awesome. So I hope that you really embrace that. I hope you embrace that, Barbara. Really. Yeah, I hope you embrace it. Be the lesson. And if they learn it, cool. And if they don't, cool. Because it's not really your lesson. You're the teacher. There we go. Be the teacher. Be the patience teacher. So there you go. How's that, love? Be the teacher. Everybody keeps saying that. I didn't. All I did was let my hair do its weird normal shit. Maybe it's because I've been doing the old Hollywood curls for so long and you guys haven't seen the crazy hair. Yeah? Is that it? You're welcome, love. So I'm a Capricorn. When I'm done, I'm done. Now, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it takes a lot to push me to that aspect, to push me to the when I'm done, I'm done. Well, okay, I'm not. It always takes me a lot to get pushed to that aspect. But when I'm there, I'm there. I cut that tie and I don't look back. I don't look back at all. Or if so, I don't let you know I'm looking back. You know what I mean? Okay, that's too many. I'm not doing that. All right, Miss Alicia Chastain, you ready? Yeah, when I'm done, I'm out. Okay, no. It keeps trying to pull 3. Here we go. Yeah. Yep. See, everybody's like, yep, that Capricorn energy. Yeah, if you ever push a Capricorn too far, There's no recovering from that. Yeah, an Aries, you're a cardinal sign. Cardinal signs, period. If you push a cardinal sign too far, that's it, man. That's it. That's it. You're out. You're out. So, yeah, you're out. All right, Miss Alicia. So, I'm curious, Miss Alicia, are you here? I'm looking to see if you're here. Have I read you before? Because I feel like something has shifted. There you are. Have I read you before? Have I done a past life reading for you before? Something has shifted with you. The reason I say something has shifted with you is because you really don't have palm ammunition. Okay. You really don't have much that you have to finish in this life now. You've completed everything you needed to complete. So what's affecting you the most right now is that you feel you need to withdraw from all of these situations because in your mind, you're like, well, I don't really know why I need to do this anymore. So I would not be surprised to know that you've been cutting ties, that you've been walking away from situations, jobs, hobbies, things that you've done forever. And people are like, why? What's going on? Why are you stopping or whatever? You're just like, I don't need to do it anymore. Like you don't have an answer, but you're just like, I don't need to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. You're now in this purification mode. You're in this purification mode with your life. Embrace it. Embrace it. You've accomplished everything you needed to accomplish. So if you feel like withdrawing, do it. It's literally time to purify those leftover like corn husks. You know what I mean? It's like all the corn's gone and it's just the husk sitting there. Let it go. Let it purify. Let it blow away with the wind. So one of the things that I love is that with the completion, it's going to be up to you if you come back and do more things. It's literally going to be up to you if you come back and do more things. And I have this feeling that your soul is kind of tired and you'll probably sit out for a little bit before you make that decision. Process. Work through some stuff. I also would not be surprised to know that even though you're done, there it is. You knew it was coming. Even though you're done, even though you walk away from some things, from people, etc., you're still overthinking things, but you're not overthinking the things that are happening right now in this moment. What you're overthinking are things that happened when you were a kid. You're overthinking things that happened in like third grade that are popping back up. I was waiting to see if my kid was coming in here. So, Miss Alicia, you kind of can do whatever the fuck you want at this point. You literally can do whatever the fuck you want at this point. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And know that you don't have to make an immediate decision to come back. So yeah, you can take some time and enjoy the downtime. Enjoy the downtime without having to be stressed about coming back. So yeah, take some time off before college. Let me just say that. So yours was kind of short and sweet. You've done what you needed to do. So So yeah, if you decide that you want to withdraw, withdraw. If you decide you need to purify some shit, purify some shit. If you decide that you want to walk away from all of this stuff you've always done, do it, because you don't need it anymore. You don't need it anymore. I like readings like that, man. I'll do those all day long. Shit. Those make me really happy. Like, damn, yeah. Hey, baby, are you going to bed? I guess so, because all the lights went off. All right, Brittany Noir, you ready? Hey, Heidi. I saw you down there. Xander, I'm glad you're hanging out. Slothy, I'm glad you're hanging out. And watching me drop cards on the floor. This is way too many. So I didn't have time to go get my nails done today. And it's hard for me to pick stuff up off the floor. This is dumb. This is dumb. Make me bend my cards. So. Now the cards are like, fuck you, bitch, you bent me. Right? I just need to actually like go get my nails done. They're slightly too long. I will say though, I noticed that when I sit like this, like look at the gradient, how that matches up like perfect. It almost looks like my nails are blurred. Does that make sense? Isn't that cool? I noticed it just now when I was doing that. I was like, oh my God, they almost look like they're blurred. That's kind of cool. Sorry. Squirrel. Okay. Brittany, ready? Well, Miss Brittany. What's affecting you right now is some love issues. You've got some people in and around your path and your life that are very clingy. They're there to push some boundaries with you and to make you set boundaries. While they're very, very clingy, there it is. There it is. I knew it was coming. Hey, Chelsea love, how are you? While they're very clingy, for some reason, some of them you're letting in and some of them you're not. And it's the wrong ones. Does that make sense? It's the wrong ones. So the ones you're letting in are not the ones you're supposed to let in. The ones you're keeping out are the ones you're supposed to let in. Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to have relationships with all of these people, but let them into your life, like friendship-wise, etc. I will say that a lot of this is trauma, not just from this life, but from this past life here. This one was, I would say, mid-ish, 900s, 920, 925 area. And you just refused to let anybody love you, and you refused to love anybody because you were so afraid that they were going to die. You were going to lose them. So that's why you have a problem now with like being commitment phobic, with letting people in, with moving forward, with relationships, with friendships, with family. So here's the thing, because I know your response is going to be, well, how the fuck do I fix that? It's up to you to do this. Now, going forward, you know that this is a thing. You know that this is a thing. So when this feeling pops up, when these feelings pop up, you can go, okay. Is this from trauma from before? Or is this something that I have no reason to be upset about? You know what I mean? It will help you work through some of these things. It will help you work through some of these things. Okay? You can absolutely overcome this. You can absolutely do this. You're an amazingly strong person. Like literally you drew the fire card, love. You're an amazingly strong person, way stronger than you think you are, way stronger than you give yourself credit for. Embrace that strongness, embrace that strength, embrace that steel backbone. You can overcome all of this and then some and be done with this and some other things on your little checklist. So you don't have to do them again next time. I promise. I promise. So you've got this, sweet pea. You can do this. I have faith in you. I do. I do. Okay? I do. So yeah. I'm so glad to see you guys hanging out and making friends with each other, especially those of you guys that were like, I just found your live and I don't have anybody. Look, now you have all the people. It's like, I'm actually kind of tearing up a little bit. Like, it makes me so happy to see you guys find peoples. You're welcome, Miss Brittany. You've got this, sweet pea. You do. You just don't give yourself enough credit. You really don't. Give yourself more credit. You're a badass bitch. Give yourself more credit. Seriously. Seriously. Okay? Here's what I would say. Find a nail. Find a nail. Literally. And if you can't find one, go to the store and just buy one. Just buy one and carry it with you. A masonry nail is perfect because they're not sharp on the end. They're flat and they're really, really strong. You are that nail. That's your strength. I mean, because you can't really carry a hammer around people or think you're going to do some shit. I'm just saying. It'll help you. I promise. Carrying that metal around with you will help you. So. All right. Heather Zaputli. Zaputel, right? Zaputel? I'm murdering that, yeah? I'm murdering that. I'm murdering that. See, I'm going to get hot, cold, hot, cold, hot. Stupid. Woo, that's too many. Hey, Heather, there you are, love. Thank you guys for being so patient and waiting for a little bit. I appreciate it. There we go. That's what I thought about. That's what I thought. Not what I thought about. It's what I thought. All right. Oh, Lord, girl. Oh. So first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, what's affecting you the worst right now? What's affecting you the worst right now is shadow work, is doing it. I have a feeling that you have already been diving into some shadow work. You've been looking at it, researching it, figuring out how to do it, etc. But you can't bring yourself to do it all the time. You can't, and not all the time, okay? Because y'all, let me just say this. Do not do shadow work all the time. Do not do shadow work every damn day. Don't. You will break yourself. You will break your fucking self. Don't. Okay? Do not get some of these shadow work apps that I've seen out there. Those bastards are mean. That's not shadow work. That is not shadow work. That's somebody that's developed an app that's fucking mean, and you're going to damage yourself. I've seen some screenshots from some of these apps, and they're horrible. Shadow work is meant to be a personal thing. Shadow work is something that you do on your own after you learn how to do it. I highly recommend taking classes. I highly recommend finding a counselor or a spiritual counselor, or whoever that can help you start to do shadow work. So shadow work is actually a psychological term that was coined by Carl Jung back in the 60s. This is integrating all of the bad, the dark parts of yourself back into the light to make two parts into a whole once again. When we're born, and sometimes even before we're born, we start to get the no. No. When we're little, it's we don't hit. We're not angry. We share. We're nice. Everybody grows up differently. Some people grow up, well, we don't like that person because of their religion. We don't like that person because of where they come from. And we push that back. Shadow work. You have to deal with that. Some people have intense family trauma. Some people have psychological trauma. Some people have all these things. So whenever you start working on shadow work, you start very easy and you start peeling back some of these layers. I recommend if you guys are going to take a shadow work class with somebody, you really find out about that person before you sign up for their class. Even me, I've been teaching it for a long time. I've been teaching it since like 2014, 2015. Does it mean I'm the right teacher for every single one of you? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Am I saying I don't want to teach you? No, that's not it. What I'm saying is, just like therapists, just like doctors, just like anybody out there, there's going to be someone that's perfect for you to help you learn shadow work, to help you learn how to do it. There are also hundreds of great books online, on Amazon, there are workbooks. I highly recommend those. Okay. But Heather, a lot of what's affecting you right now is something is stopping you doing shadow work. It's like every time you sit down to do it, something happens. Every time you think about doing it, something happens. Every time, even driving down the road in your car, and you're like, did I react that way because of, this person really did piss me off, or because of, this past emotional trauma or whatever? Something happens. You've got to be diligent and force yourself back into that. So when something happens that pulls you out of the shadow, you've got to be diligent and get right back into it. Like you have to force a time for this, because the universe now knows that it can push you off that path, and it's going to continue to do it. It's going to continue to do it. This stems from a life that basically was all shadow. It was pretty much all shadow. So there was no time to do shadow work because you lived it. You lived the bad. Everybody has a life like this. Everybody has lives that are horrible. We have to experience it. It's just really affecting your soul right now. It's just really affecting your soul right now. So be forceful with your private time to work on this. And you're going to have to be forceful with yourself. It's not even so much everybody else. It's with yourself. And it's hard, trust me. It's hard. But I have faith in you, Sweet Pea. I have faith in you. I know you can do it. Put a timer. Make yourself hit that timer. Make yourself do the shadow work and reward yourself when you do it. Reward yourself when you do it. Okay? It's something everybody goes through on their journey, Sweet Pea. Even me, been there, done that. I understand. I still go through phases. But also, I'm just going to say, don't push yourself to do it every day. Don't. Maybe once a week until you get deeper into it. And then maybe twice a week. So there you go. All right. Megan Strong, you ready? I keep smelling toast. Toast. Nobody in my house is making toast because my oldest son isn't here and my youngest is in bed. Oh, I'm excited to see you. Yay. Yay. Hi, Megan. So yours is going to be kind of an interesting one. You ready? This right here is back from, I would say, probably the really early 14th century. Early 14th century. What you're doing right now, what's going on right now, like there are times they're over there making sure I know it's bedtime. There's things going on right now that you literally have looked around and have thought, am I cursed? Did someone do some shit to me? You feel like people are messing with you. You feel like something is going on that's not just normal. That's not just it's not just normal shit. Like you really feel like it's super deep. So here's the thing. This is the last little bit of some weird ass shit from that far back. And what's funny is it wasn't even directly put on you, but it's like, okay, but it's like when it hit the person that it hit, it went like that and spread out and hit like 4 or 5 of you, family wise, soul wise, and it stuck. So you're kind of paying for somebody else's shit in a tiny way. Why it's popping up right now? Okay, so I keep seeing this image, so now I have to go ahead and get it out and say it because it's not going to go away until I do. What I'm seeing whenever I'm saying that, there's a big, huge, tall man with dark, kind of shaggy hair. I would say so dark brown, it's almost black, but not quite. I would put him probably about 6'2", 6'3", humongous shoulders. Literally, I see him standing in the front, and the rest of you guys are like bowling pins behind him, like a wedge. So if he's here, you're here. So you would be right to his right side right here. And I see you as probably about 13 or 14 years old, redhead, younger girl, just right there. Okay. Whoever this man is, Megan, he's part of your soul family and he's in your life every single time. Okay. Every single time. So with him, he's not a bad guy. He's just very firm in who he is, very hard-headed, like does not take no for an answer. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it. Okay? He's in your life every time as either some type of older brother, father figure, husband, whatever. He's like this protector of you. So what's interesting about him is that he's the one that took the brunt of this because he's the one that caused it, because he's the one that I have a feeling kind of smarted off and then was like, well, fuck you, do something about it, you know? And he got the brunt of a fuck around and find out. And that's why it kind of spilled over into the others of you in this soul family. And I know some people are like, whatever, man. I'm serious. It's a fucking thing. The good thing is, Megan, you only got a little bit of it, and this is like the last of it. This is the last of it. What you're dealing with right now is the last of it. So I want to show you this card in the middle because I specifically have had this card twice come out in the deck as I've been reading tonight. I always put my cards back in right side up, especially with this deck. This is the surrender card, and it's upside down. It's upside down. With this little bit of this shit continuing to go on, you have to almost be like this person I was describing and stand up to it. Basically, middle finger held high. Not the come at me type of middle finger, but fuck you, man, I've had enough type of middle finger. It's kind of like, I knew that was coming. It's kind of like that one last push through the forest, and then you're into the clear. Does that make sense? That's literally where you're at right now. One last push, and that's it. It's done. It's over. You don't ever have to deal with this again. This life or any other life. You don't ever have to deal with it. It's like right there. So, when crap happens, just don't back down. Don't back down. Okay? Because, yeah, don't back down. You are almost there. Like literally that much, if that. So when crap happens, don't back down, Megan. Don't back down. And you know what I'm talking about. I mean, we all know that there's a time when you're in a confrontation with somebody or a situation happens and you kind of have to be like, yeah, I'm out. You know what I mean, though, when I say don't back down. Right. Right. So, yeah, guys, if you're asking how to get on my lists fill up really quickly, especially for things like this. I did one Wednesday of last week, and these do kind of wear me out. So it'll probably be a couple weeks before I do another one. But I will get on and get some more scheduled. Okay? You got this, Miss Megan. I mean, come on. I know that you said that was, before you got married, but just look at that last name. Strong. Come on now. Come on now. Woo! Those slid right down my thumb. Miss Amy Capri, you ready? Hey, baby. Oh. You about to go to bed? Y'all hear that dog? I love you.
Love you.
You okay?
No.
All right. So, here we go. My dog, the Zeus, can't see very well. And so, like, I know you know that it was your kid and you're growling anyway. It was really kind of funny. Okay. Miss Amy, what's affecting you the most is kind of a complete rebirth, a complete soul retrieval, a complete shift from who you were into somebody else. Your last couple years has been intense. Extremely, extremely intense. Like to the point I'm even like, oh shit. So let me say this, Amy. The life this is affecting you from is way, way far back there. I would say probably 200 to 300 AD, that far back. I would say that there's some part of you that you lost back then. Guys, when our soul gets old, it's just like anything. If it gets too full, it starts to fracture. This is how you come up with soul fractals. You guys can look this up. Soul fractals are when a soul gets too full and it fractures and pieces come off. When you meet people, and every single one of you has probably met somebody where you had a connection similar to this. Some of you have had it happen. You will meet somebody. Some of you, let me stop there. Some of you will meet somebody where it's almost like y'all are the same fucking person. You may look just alike. Most of the times your name is very similar. You do something very similar. You drive the same fucking car. The person that you married or you're dating has the same name. They look the same. Your parents were almost the same. Your animals are almost the same. Like you really, it's almost like they're a doppelganger, life-wise. When like twins get separated and then, when they come back together, they find out like they married someone that looks exactly the same with the same names and they drive the same cars. They're both accountants, all this. It's like that, but on a really deep level and a spooky level because they're not twins. That's a fractal. It's not a soulmate. It's not a twin flame. It's a fractal. They don't crash into you like a twin flame does. They don't separate from you like a twin flame does. What you're going through right now, Miss Amy, is a massive soul retrieval. You are literally pulling in all these broken pieces of you and energies that you have given to other people. You are pulling them all in and becoming your whole person again. When you pull all these in, guys, when you do a soul retrieval and you pull all of these things in, it causes a complete rebirth. It causes a complete rebirth of who you are. That's what you're going through right now. And I wish I could give you a time frame. I wish I could give you answers. I wish I could give you, here's exactly what you do. But it's just something that you have to deal with. It's something you have to walk through. Every soul goes through something like this. It tells me your soul is old as dirt, my friend. Your soul is old as dirt. And as you're pulling all these pieces back in and as you're hitting this rebirth, it is going to catapult you into taking some interesting action around you going forward. I don't quite mean becoming an activist, but almost becoming an activist. Y'all are so sweet. Stop. Y'all are making me blush. Trying to be serious and read Amy's reading, and I'm reading all these other things. Y'all are making me blush. Stop. Thank you. So, all right. I hope that helps, Miss Amy. You just have to walk through this, sweetheart. You just have to walk through this. But you got this, I promise. I'm going to try to get through everybody because it's 11 o'clock. I got to get my ass up early and take my kiddo to school. And see several of you guys tomorrow. All right. Good. I'm glad. I do soul retrievals. I usually do them in person. I'll probably schedule one for November or in a group. I'll probably schedule one for November. I'm just not sure when yet because I haven't done one in a few months, but yeah. All right. Miss Tiffany Merryman. Well, you're going through an intense shift. Okay. Tiffany, this is from, wish I popped my ears all the way, 2 lives ago. So I would say probably early 1700s. I'm going to say actually late 1600s. The main part of what you're dealing with now is from the early 1700s. But you're going through an intense period, an intense shift right now. That is you transmuting from this old wild woman you to this intensely focused you. And you're in the transmute period right now. You're in the shift period right now. You're in the cocoon right now. So it feels weird. It feels off because you're no longer this person here, but you're not quite this person here. And you're so far in the middle that you can't really go back and forth too much. Don't rush it right now, okay? Don't rush it right now. Because what you're letting go of and what you're transmuting into this focused, like hardcore badass is going to take time to finesse from one to the other. There's also things that you have to let go of and you have to leave behind. And those take time. So don't rush what's going on right now. Just kind of enjoy it and let it be what it is. Let it happen. And I know it's weird to say enjoy it when you're in a cocoon phase. Enjoy it when you're shifting from, one person to another. But seriously, enjoy it. Because when you shift to this other person, you're going to look back and go, man, that was easy. That was easy. So, yeah, that was easy. So, allow yourself to walk through this. Okay? Yeah. You're going to be an amazing badass on the other side of this. Like, I feel sorry for anybody that comes up against you. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, Xander, you should probably go to sleep, love. But I get it. And I'm so glad that you popped into my live. And I hope that you made some friends here that can help you. And even if it's just to have somebody to talk to, that makes me so happy. I'm glad you found us, Xander, honey. And Slothy, if you're still here, I'm glad you found us too, sweet pea. All right, Lisa Blanc, you ready? How many more do I got to go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I'm going to try to get as far as I can. Okay. All right, Miss Lisa. My leg itches. I will be on tomorrow, Xander. I will be on at 8:30 Central, so earlier than tonight. And I will be doing a full Reiki session. So if you can, it would probably do you a lot of good, sweetheart. Okay? It'll probably do you a lot of good. All right, Miss Lisa. So yours is kind of a double-edged sword. You ready? You ready? When do I rest, Josh? I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Y'all have no idea how much I work. Y'all have no idea. Like, I'm actually considering after Lisa going to bed because I've got to get up and be at my shop early in the morning and just finishing these last 7 in the morning. Because then I've got to work all day and get ready for some stuff. And then, yeah. So, but we'll see. All right, Lisa. So yours is a double-edged sword in that you have some very intense abilities popping up right now. And you have some very intense things you're dealing with right now at the same time. So what sucks is you feel like you're cursed, but you're not. This is popping up from, I would say probably the very late 1400s, like 1490-ishes. You know what I mean? What knows it? 1490-ish. You really feel like you're cursed, but you're not. You feel like you're cursed because you are still dealing with a lot of this. Thank you, love. A lot of this deep-seated, I don't want to say shadow work because it's not. It's almost like traveling to the underworld and carrying that burden type of deep. And at the same time, you're gaining mediumship abilities like nobody's business. So the two do go hand in hand, unfortunately. They go hand in hand. And like a couple others this evening, there's no real way out of it but through. With a lot of things, guys, the only way out is really through. That's kind of what's up right now. The only way out is through. As you deal with some of this shadow stuff that you, and shadow is not the right word, but it's the only word I can think of. It's like deep, dark shit. As you're dealing with some of this deep, dark shit, your mediumship abilities are going to go through the roof too. Your skills, your gifts, all of those things are going to go through absolutely insane through the roof. It's going to be really intense for probably the next 4 to 5 months on you. Really intense. And you're going to feel like you are absolutely batshit crazy, that you're disconnected from reality, that, I mean, you're going to really have this hardcore battle within yourself over this. But I will tell you that this right here, Lisa, is one of the main things that your soul has to overcome. And you've already been working through it for a while. So the good thing is you've already been working through it for a while. You knew that was coming. All you have to do is just continue to hold your head up and walk through it. Like I said, about 4 or 5 months, and that's it. And it'll start to ease back up. You've done much more than you realize you have. And like I said, the good thing is you're dealing with it from a life that was pretty far back. Not crazy far back, but decently far back. This is the last of it. This is literally the last of it. You don't have to deal with it anymore. No more. And I've actually been poking and trying to see what it is that is causing this. And I really can't. It's black. It's black. So what it makes me think is that the life that is causing this is one of the ones where either you weren't born or you weren't alive very long, because everything I try to see is black. And that would tell me that you probably stayed in the middle too long. You stayed in the void too long. That's why you're dealing with some of this really intense, shadowy shit. So, guys, everybody on their little checklist that they have to tick off. You have vacation lives. These are lives where you're born into an amazing family that's wealthy and powerful, and you don't have to do anything. You have a vacation life where everything is handed to you. Everybody has one. Everybody has at least one. Everybody has lives where you find your soulmate and you're married your whole life and you have this beautiful family and kids and grandkids and great, all the things. Everybody has lives where you aren't born. And I know you're like, well, that's not really a life. It's something you have to tick off your list. Everybody has a life where you pass away as a child. Everybody has all of these things. So I have a feeling that that's what this one is. It's one where you either passed away when you were younger, or it's one where you didn't make it being born. Does that make sense? There we go. Because everything is black. Everything is black. So, Lisa, you're dealing with a lot of shit. But like I said, 4 or 5 months and you're done. You're done. You don't have to deal with it ever again. So, oh, thank you, Miss Becky. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. So, oh, no, I'm not smelling toast anymore. And my kid was cooking something a while ago in the microwave. So that's probably what I was smelling. So when I have a seizure, guys, I don't smell toast. What I smell is skunk. And it's not just normal skunk. So for me, an aura, if I have that kind of smell aura, it starts with smells like something burning. And I get paranoid because it's like that electrical burning smell. And then I'm like through the house, like, where is it? But then it's like, if you took a skunk and you lit it on fire, and then you had a tire fire, like a pile of tires on fire. And then this next part's really gross. You ready? You really ready? It's like rotten egg extraordinaire quiche. If you took those 3 smells and put them together, that's what my aura is. I can't just get toast. I couldn't just get rotten eggs. I would even be happy with just rotten eggs. I would be happy with just a burning skunk. Fuck no. My brain's a dick. So my brain's like, guess what, bitch? Here's all this shit. Smell it. That's my smell seizure aura. I would love to have toast. I would even take burnt toast. I would take toast that's been in the toaster on for like 2 days, burnt. But no. I almost do toss my cookies. I almost do. When seizures for me, even little bitty ones, the nausea is real. Even with just the aura, the nausea is real. Usually my things are visual. So those are fun. So yeah, those are fun. I laugh about it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. Some people have a little better. Some people don't. So yeah. But yeah, I get horrible migraines. And so I'm working with an epilepsy specialist right now to determine if the migraines are a seizure aura or if the seizures are a migraine aura or if they are even tied together. But I noticed that they happen together. Like when I have a bigger seizure, I haven't had a bigger seizure in a long time. So y'all don't worry. When I have a bigger seizure, they usually coincide with a really nasty migraine. So I've kind of been on high alert because I had a migraine from Friday until Monday. And so, yeah, that was fun. I usually don't get the metallic taste. No, I don't get that aspect of it. I get all kinds of other weird shit, but I don't get the metallic taste. So yeah. So I am going to go to bed. So here's who I've got, and I will finish you guys tomorrow. So I've got LaGayla, Miss Sarah Boggs, Kayla Bowman, Marissa. Dana Chavez, Becky Marshall, and Katie Francis. I will finish you guys tomorrow. It will be in the morning, probably from, I would say 9 to 10:30. But I will have it on YouTube for you guys. I will be streaming it on YouTube. So yeah. Because otherwise, my words are going to stop working, and I probably need to go make sure that my kid actually went to bed. It is quiet in there, so. But that also could mean headphones and Netflix. So I'm going to go ahead and end my live stream on YouTube there. Really? Why you got to be way back there? I can't see.